Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead. Time for a canning video. Me and Tom are going to do this together unless, of course, I get everything done before he finishes his errand. Then I'll have to figure out how to get the canner down and I'll just start it myself. So yesterday I bought 8 pounds of the bigger potatoes from Meijer when we went to go pick up hamburger and the suddenly salad and a watermelon and some corn, and I got regular mayo, plus I got some Miracle Whip, and they had them $2 off. And then we got stocked back up on our barbecue sauce, Baby Ray's. We got stocked back up on that because at $1.19 that was really cheap, so we got 10 of those. When you come across deals like that and you can afford it, oh, and we got 3 things of marinara because we were completely out of that too, and it ended up being cheaper than I could buy even from Walmart. So when you get a chance, I mean, I know money is really, really tight, but when you get a chance to be able to stock up something like that, you know, and you know that you're going to use it. Now, if you're not going to use it, don't do that. But if you know it's something that you're going to use over and over again, grab it when it's cheap. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's a lot easier to spend $1.19 a piece on them than it is to spend $3. You know, you can get almost 3 of them for the price of 1. Now, I'm going to chunk these up. And I don't want them to be big chunks, but chunks that'll fit nicely in a canning jar. Oh, and that reminds me, Norma, if you're watching, we got the jars all washed up, and thank you. She goes thrifting, and then if she sees jars on sale, she'll pick them up. She doesn't charge me for them or anything, but she picks them up. And yesterday she got quart size big ones. So that was really nice of her. I like that she does that. We've known each other for 50 years, and they're friends of mine across the street. And well, I don't even consider them friends, actually. Her and her sisters, like you've seen Olivia at my house, they're my sisters. They're family. We grew up together. We've watched each other's kids grow up, you know, and now Olivia and I have grandkids. Norma does not, neither does Mimi yet, but they will eventually. But anyway, so I'm not washing these ahead of time. I'm just peeling them, because what I'm going to do is I will take them and then put them in my great big metal colander, and I will rinse them and rinse them and rinse them and rinse them until my water runs clear, because you want to get as much of your starch off these potatoes as you possibly can, because no matter if you're canning just potatoes, you're canning them with something, you don't want a bunch of starch. And this is something we're canning for Tom to take to work, so he doesn't have time to rinse the potatoes like I would normally do here at home. So make sure that you rinse them off really, really well. So I'm going to get all these done up, and then I'll come back. Who knows, maybe I'll finish before he even gets around. So I got all the potatoes done, rinsed. They're in the sink in cold water. I got the corn peeled. That's in the sink with cold water. And now I'm hoping I have enough room in here, because I really don't want to get out the Big Daddy bowl. But I think once I mix everything together, it should be okay. But this is that hamburger that I got yesterday at Meijer. So like I saved $10.12. It's normally $5.99 a pound, and I got it for $1.96. So I'm using 6 pounds of hamburger, and I'm going to use a full onion. Because I like onion in my meatloaf. And that's what we're making. as meatloaf. I did this about 7 months ago, and Tom loved it so much. He's like, next time that meat goes on sale, we need to do it again. And I'm like, we? We'll see how we works out today. But anyway, he absolutely loves it. And so I'm going to make 16 pints of it today. Or at least I'm hoping so. I do have more hamburger, so it's like, if it's not enough, I can make up some more. We decided not to do anything with the other hamburger till we finished this, so that we knew how much it would take. Alright, so now, I actually learned this a while back. I use stuffing mix now instead of like your oatmeal or anything like that. I'm using stuffing mix. And this is where I'm worried that we're not going to have enough room. And I'm going to use 2 bags of it because I'm using 6 pounds of meat. We might be alright. I just hate using the Big Daddy if I don't need to. And I want to make sure nobody got in that box, I'll tell you. After this, I want to get my watermelon all cut up. Jazz seen it come into the house, but he hasn't seen it chopped up. And I tell you, you guys, that cat will wake up out of a dead sleep the minute you start cutting a watermelon. He's just like right on it. Alright, so now I'm going to put, and you do your own recipe, which you think is best. I'm going to use 4 eggs. And if it feels like I need to add more, I will. I'm not going to add any other spices because, what do I do with that other egg? There it is. Because the stuffing mix is pretty, you know, spiced up by itself. Now let's just hope I can mix all this together in this smaller bowl. Alright, and then I'm going to add some ketchup to that. And like I say, you don't have to do any of it. You can do your favorite recipe. Alright. So here's the real test. But I think once you get it all mixed in together, I think it'll be fine. This bowl will be big enough. It's just going to be that first few scoops that are going to be like, ugh. I thought about doing 3 pounds at a time, and I'm like, that's just so much more work. Just do it all at once. Alright, so I'm going to work on, you don't need to see me making a mess. Yes, my hands were clean, by the way. And I find it easier to do meatloaf with my hands than a spoon that you're going to keep trying and trying and trying to get through. So, let me get this mixed together. Alright, so I made up 16 patties over there. So now the next thing I'm going to do is, and I've noticed my jars, some of them are taller, half pint, or pints, and some are shorter. So I'm going to have to kind of put them in the canner according to height because you don't want your divider to go like this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill those potatoes up to about maybe 3/4 of the way. Now this is dry canning, but the thing is, once you put that hamburger on top, it's going to drain its juice down, and it's going to make your potatoes wonderful, I swear. I was doubtful when I first made it, but I'm telling you, yeah, it was great. Two, let me say that I did 6 pounds of meat. It's probably only going to take about 4 because I do have quite a bit of meat left. So what I'm going to do is something else to preserve, because we are going to do something with hamburger tonight too, since before we put it in the freezer. But I thought about the meat that I have left. I'll put that on the dinner video on what I'm going to do with that. And then we'll make a separate we'll make a separate thing for our meal tonight. So I'm going to fill all these up and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got the rest of them already in the canner. I did use a separating plate because in my big 23 quart, I can double stack pints. That's why we did 16. You can fit 18 in there, but when they're wide mouth, not so much. It doesn't fit so well. So you're going to make sure that on these especially, you wash them really good around the rims, because you did put greasy meat in there. And you're going to put the lids on. And you're going to do finger tight. So you have your potatoes at the bottom. Then you have your little, patty that you made on top. And then it's going to be meatloaf, and I'm calling it meatloaf and mashed potatoes. So we're going to put that in the canner. I'm going to get the lid and put it on. Now I am using my 4 jars canning lids. I had a new pack of wide mouth pints, and Tom brought them up, and I'm like, no. Because a lot of the ones that, I don't want to say other brands, but their seals are lasting like 12 months, 18 months to tops. So I make sure that, because this is a lot to go through in just 12 months, I want to make sure I use my 4 jar lids so that they can last on the shelf 2 years, even more if I need be. So I'm going to get that turned on. And what you're doing is letting the pressure build up inside your canner. I know for those of you that are not newbies, you're like, Chris, I know. But there's a lot of people that are trying to learn how to can, and I think that's awesome because I am so happy that I started canning. So happy. And it just really helps to build your pantry, helps you to use up things that you've got for, on sale, etc., etc. So we're going to wait till that comes to a full steam out of, let me push it up a little bit more. This little vent hole, it has to be full steam. Once that happens, then we're going to put our jiggler on there, and we're going to build it up to 10 pounds of pressure. We can let that vent for a full 10 minutes. So now, this is what I had left. So you could probably get away with 3 pounds because I had to cut some of those burgers down. So now I got to decide what I want to do with it. I had an idea, and then I had a different idea, so we'll see. But you're going to see what I do with this at dinner, what I'm going to do with the corn, what I'm going to do with the rest of the hamburger, and then you'll see dinner. So we'll put that all into one video, because I think it's important for us to see what we're doing with the things that we get on sale, and why we do what we do. I think it's important. So now on pints, it is 75 minutes, and you have to pressure can meat. I know there's people that say you don't have to, but I am not. I know that back in the day, our grandparents and great-great-grandparents may not have pressure canned, but since I do have a pressure canner, I am not going to take that chance with my family's health. So I will pressure can all my meat. So 75 minutes for pints, 90 minutes for quarts. And I'll be back when it starts, when I get ready to put the jiggler on. How's that? Alright, so now we're going to put on our jiggler. And I need, on this one, it goes by the gauge and by the jiggler going back and forth. So I'll bring it up to 10 pounds of pressure, and then have it jiggling quite nicely, and then I will start my timer for 75 minutes. Alright, there we go. And I think most of them have already sealed, don't you, Tom?
Yeah.
Because they were pinging away when he was taking them out of the canner. So the potatoes are fully cooked, and see how all the juices from the meat go down in. So those potatoes are technically not dry canned. So if you've never tried it, it is awesome. Give it a chance. You guys have a blessed day. Be a blessing. See you at supper.